Welcome to another edition of the Red Zone podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Point du jour, and oh boy, it has happened.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
The Calgary Stampeders have acquired quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. from the BC Lions in a blockbuster trade, and we're going to break it down, what it means for Calgary, what it means for BC, all of that. So let's get right into it. So Calgary acquires, obviously, Vernon Adams Jr., the big piece in this trade, a 2025 fourth round pick and a 2026 third round pick. What does BC acquire in the trade? Well, a 2025 second round pick, which is basically a first round pick because Edmonton forfeited their draft pick, a 2025 fourth round pick, and a 2026 second round pick. So a lot of moving parts here. But the biggest part is Vernon Adams Jr. is a Calgary Stampeders. And what does this mean for Calgary? Well, they retain their number one overall pick in the draft. So they can go out there, they can get an offensive lineman for VA, a possible defensive lineman because we struggled getting to the quarterback last year. Who knows? They can go a lot of directions in with this pick. Curtis Rourke, I wouldn't hold my breath. I think he's probably going down to the NFL. Teams are going to probably draft him maybe in like the third, fourth, fifth round, around there. But I wouldn't hold my breath. Maybe a CFL team probably drafts him later, but I don't think he will be the number one overall pick unless you can get him up here right away. And well, there'd be no point on trading for VA if Curtis Rourke was available in the CFL draft. But I think he'll be heading down to the States. And Calgary gets a very, good quarterback, MOP caliber quarterback that, was on pace to throw for 6,000 yards last year before he got injured. And then Nathan Rourke came back to BC and he almost finished the year. VA got the playoff game, but he was on pace to throw for 6,000 yards, leading BC to a great record there early on until kind of things, it was a roller coaster near the end, leading to BC firing Rick Campbell. But this is really the first running quarterback that Calgary has had, like an elusive quarterback, since probably the days of Doug Flutie back in the 1990s. That's huge. I mean, that's a long time without a guy that can really, when things get tough, he can escape. He's elusive. He's probably been Calgary's kryptonite over the last few years with, Montreal. And Calgary and Montreal is never good. We don't win there. So he was our kryptonite there. And then BC, I mean, he beat us a lot of times in the regular season, in the playoffs too. So we get our kryptonite basically, which is good. So it keeps him away from any other team and on our team now. So it's great to have him. And what does this mean for BC? Well, it's a clear path that this obviously means they're going with Nathan Rourke as their starter there. He's going to go into 2025 hoping to, find a spark there, find a 2022 vibe with BC, but they got free agents. And you don't think VA will be recruiting, Justin McInnis? He's a free agent this offseason. He may be recruiting him to Calgary to play with his quarterback that he got, I think the leading receiver in the CFL, well over 1,000 yards. So you never know what VA could do with his recruitment power if Dave Dickinson allows it, which I would say he probably will. And then you got Geno Lewis up there in Edmonton. Could possibly recruit him. I'm just talking about receivers. Probably are not our biggest need right now since we'll probably re-sign Jalen Philpott. But you really never know. But that'll do it for this edition of the Red Zone podcast. BC fans, Calgary fans, let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think of the trade? Do you like it? Do you not like it for your team? I think Calgary fans, they'll love this trade. Love a great quarterback. I think that signals the end of Jake Mayer's time in Calgary, unless he comes back and becomes the third string quarterback. I don't think so, though. I think he'll probably go, maybe like a place like Winnipeg or Edmonton to become the backup in those places. But we'll see what happens with that. Still a long off season ahead of us. Calgary still needs a defensive coordinator and a special teams coach since they let him go a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts about this trade is. And we are in for a doozy of an off season coming up. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you next time on the Red Zone podcast. Peace.